All aboard and welcome to our podcast, GoddeSShips. For those of you who are returning, thank you for your continued support and welcome back. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome. I am Keely, the Soul Snatching Goddess. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and bang the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we have new episodes. And
hello, I'm FloydGod. Hello, world.
as you all can see, we do not have the FACKTgoddess with us this evening. She had some prior engagements to do, but we are going to be recording our review of episode 2 of Amazon Prime Original Them. And this episode is entitled Day 3.
Wow.
So I reviewed episode 1 last week. So if you want to check that out, make sure you go ahead and do that. So all of the reviews that I've seen so far, and part of the reason why we were doing this review is because a lot of people are calling it trauma porn. And I'm a movie buff. So when I saw it, I looked at it a little differently. And then in talking to FloydGod, he kind of saw some different things as well. And so as castmates, we kind of just decided to review it on a different perspective than trauma porn. So we'll be reviewing all 10 episodes separately because a lot of the ones that I've seen as well have just clumped everything together. And it's so much packed into that series. I don't think anybody is doing it justice doing it that way. But anyway, that's just my opinion. All right, so we talked about the historical parts that were presented in the series, talking about the Great Migration that occurred and how Compton was predominantly white back in the time frame that the series was recorded in. I didn't kind of get into, but like the main characters of the episode, which was the mom, her name is, well, her actual name in the series is Lucky, but it's Livia Emery, Henry Emery. Their eldest daughter is Ruby Lee Emery. Their youngest daughter is Gracie Emery. And then you have the neighbor across the street that gives them hell, this Elizabeth Betty Wendell.
Karen.
So what do you think about those cast choices?
Well, I don't know any of the what other work they played in, but I think they were, whoever these people are, they were perfectly picked for the role that they play, especially Lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that is a beautiful chocolate woman, and she played her part. I just want to say that. Shouts out to all the sisters. Shouts out to all the sisters on the chocolate side of the game. but she played the hell out of her part.
She really did. I completely agree with that. And she is beautiful.
Yes.
She's very pretty. All right. So on this episode, we open to Lucky screaming, stay away from my fucking house and my family. And the family dog is dead. And then it jumps from that to Lucky is she's comforting Henry. He's laying on the floor because we're in a flashback. Mm-hmm. It's North Carolina, 1946. And at the family dinner table, it's dessert time. The kids and Lucky have made peach pie, which triggered his PTSD. And so while talking on the porch, he talked about being experimented on in the military and the use of mustard gas. Mm-hmm. So do you, and I know you've mentioned in other episodes about PTSD, do you really have PTSD?
You want me to just admit my business out here like I'm fucked up?
You said it. You said it on the mama thing.
I'm just playing. I know I got, well, I mean, I'm disclosing my, you know, my thing, but I have really bad anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I think honestly, I think most people from Chicago who lived in the inner city, and maybe especially now, but when we was coming up, I think we all have a certain percentage of PTSD. You know,
Mm.
so that's why I say that. But clinically, yeah, I have anxiety, and I
Okay.
think probably from.
Well, because I didn't know if you was like for real, if you was joking.
No, I
No.
would never play with nothing like that.
I mean, not play with it, but you know, some people are like, I got PTSD.
No,
And
I'm gonna say this to you. So like on the 4th of July, like I don't like 4th of July, like
because of the fireworks, the
and
gun
I'm
sounding
like
like, and people shooting guns off, all
right.
of that. Yeah.
My mindset. First of all, y'all wasting bullets. Second of all, I don't be knowing them M80s and all that. I be, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, because they very loud and you can't tell the difference.
right. So I get away, and then I'm gonna keep it real with you. When I was younger, they used to go get people on like Halloween, July 4th, New Year's, you know, you know. So
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm saying, you know, people came up missing and tightened up on them holidays. So, you know, I just get away. You know, I get away and go somewhere quiet where I ain't got to deal with it or don't have to hear it because it's less than ideal to me.
I understand.
So yeah,
I completely understand. I get it.
people can't get too close to me because I might snap out. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think my brother hasn't been diagnosed, but he was in the military, and when he came back, he was very and extremely different. He was a little changed and a bit touched, but I don't know. You know, it was never diagnosed, so I can't say because I ain't no doctor, so I can't tell him that he got PTSD, but he got something going on.
Well, I learned my old man was in the war, right, and he had some like is it Agent Orange or something like that. He caught up in that. I don't. It was one or the other, but he wasn't right. You know, to the point where like, you know, years later they send you letters like, you know, you should go down here and take a physical because these type of things affect generations of children. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it was in their and they were passing on. They having sex to the kids.
Yeah, my
And
mother was about
genetically
to go to the VA and get a physical.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So So anyway, but back to the damn situation, like, yeah, the PTSD. Plus what they did to the brother was, so what he said they did to him. So
yeah, testing and mustard gas and stuff. Yeah, it was.
So yeah.
So now we're on day 3. The police are banging at the door. Henry is running around. He's hiding a gun that Lucky had outside. The rest of the family is sitting on the couch looking terrified. He finally opens the door. They hem him up against the wall.
Yeah.
He tells them, they tell him how the people in the neighborhood are good and decent people.
Yeah.
Even though they live in the neighborhood.
Code for white folk.
Yes, they not good and decent people, apparently.
White.
So the neighborhood is gathered outside, and there's one particular sergeant pulls up, and Betty, aka Karen of the past day, she rolls up on him and is telling how she had a gun outside and how it was just terrifying. And then he says, well, then what happened?
Right.
And she said, he took her in the house, and he said, okay. And then
I think he was, I'm not going to say he was one of the good guys, but I'm just going to say he might have been like, you know, fast. I don't know.
Well, he dismissed her and told the rest of the neighborhood to clear it out and get it back in the house.
Right.
And this was like one of the first signs of where you see Betty cracks starting to show, because she was very disturbed by the fact that he dismissed her and sent her in the house.
Yeah, and then when he told the police, she hasn't been herself lately. I think.
Well, I'm talking about Betty's cracks, not Lucky's cracks.
Oh,
Betty's
my fault. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, because she was mad about the fact that he she didn't feel like he was addressing this
Right.
issue in a proper tone for her.
Well, you know, that's privilege too in their situation. So
Exactly. And that was part of her crack started to show because her whole face was like, did you not hear me say that the Negro across the street had a gun outside and you done walked up here and dismissed all of us? You supposed to be telling us you finna handle this.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is the way she felt. But that ain't what he gave her. So she so as they go back and show, Henry is trying to calm the situation down with the police, and the sergeant comes in and calms the police down.
2 cops that was like bull, yeah.
And then they walk off to look at the dog, and he shows that the window was open, and they try to explain away how the dog died.
Goddamn shame what happened to that dog.
It's Sarge. So he found Sarge that night when he was going through his PTSD. So Sarge is his dude.
That was fucked up. That was fucked up. I was sad about Sarge.
Yes. Because they ain't have to do Sarge. Sarge ain't do nothing to nobody.
That's how they get out, no. That's how they get out. But you kill one of their dogs. Oh my God, you've killed Sparky.
Woo, woo. So have you ever experienced a Karen?
Oh yeah, I used to live in Minnesota. I experienced a lot of Karens in the melting pot. And I live in Ohio too, which is Karen capital to me. And also lived in South Bend, Indiana, which is like, what the fuck? So, yeah, a lot of Karens.
So I have never personally experienced a Karen with the exception of one when I was younger, but it was my mama that experienced the Karen, and her reply was, oh my God. So we were at the mall shopping, and my mother was kind of verbally chastising my younger sister as we was leaving out, and the Karen stopped and said, oh my God, and was looking. And my mama said, bitch, what the fuck do you need over here? Do you want some? And she clutched her pearls and said, oh my God.
Whoop that ass. Your mama ass. Your mama ass.
Oh, ooh, yes. I've seen her slam plenty of people on the ground. And she don't mind pulling her gun. She's rough and tough. Rage, rock on with her bad self. She is all that.
Gangbang.
I don't play with her. When it's about to go down,
But being where you from, it's a lot of Karens. I'm just saying here in Georgia.
And that's the crazy part. Like, I've never personally had a Karen approach me. I don't know if they got a different set of vibe, so they don't come near me. I don't know what it is. But besides when I was little and that woman, I ain't had to tell nobody nothing to get on somewhere and get yourself together.
Well,
mind your business.
I never dealt with a Karen in Chicago, but in Ohio, Minnesota, Indiana, I've dealt with a few. You know, just very entitled and, you know, that type of bullshit. But I don't be getting up for it.
Now, I did experience a Ken the other night. Because Melinda and I went to this performance at Apache, and we're standing there talking, waiting on our friends to come, and we're having our own conversation right here, A and motherfucking B, and the Ken walks past and does a whole full stop and turn around and looks Melinda in her face like. And so Melinda stops talking to me and look at him like, and then she said, what the fuck?
Look at you.
He said, are you getting a divorce? Was you in an accident? Yeah, that face. That was our faces. What the fuck are you talking about, Ken? No. And even if we were, who the fuck are you?
What was he on?
We don't know. We still don't know.
He
I'm
just
like,
walked
stop
off.
your husband. When we both looked at him crazy and was like, no, he kept walking.
He probably hiding his giraffe pussy. He probably know what the fuck he was talking about.
I don't know, but at the end of the day, I'm like, you
Well, yeah,
ear hustling hard as hell in our conversation, and then had the nerve enough to go. He was like at least 7, 8 feet past us, stopped and did a whole turnaround and was like, huh? Like we was talking to him.
he
And we
want to
called
see what those black girls got going on. Go home and tell his
what we
friend. You
talking
know what,
about?
Bill? I was with these black girls. They were out there talking real slick, jiving. I was part of it, Bill. I couldn't believe it.
Now, second question: would you have played nice with the police had that been you?
You know what? I thought about that. That's that really less than ideal situation because you got your family right there. So as a father, you have to take that L. It's not an L, but it's an L. You know what I'm saying? Like your first priority is your family.
Exactly.
And then just on a personal note, I feel like in that moment, even though they didn't show it, which later on we find out, but I think in that moment he had a flashback to being in a situation where his family was in danger and he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Coupled with just the everyday struggle of being a brother, being black in the world, whatever. Being black, period, right?
And
So,
knowing that they wanted him to get out of hand in any
out his
type of
body
way.
quick because they was going to blow him down. So
Yeah.
I would have had to stand down. I'd have been mad, though. I'd have probably, I wouldn't want to be in that situation, but I'd have had to stand down. But I'd have been mad, the motherfucker. But I'd have stood down, though. But that's why, oh, God, they probably would have murked the shit out of my ass. Because
I say all the time that Jesus knew to not let me be born in a particular time because my face, my mouth, my attitude ain't that bow down. And it's like some of them really had to bite their tongue and bow down. And I'm bad at that.
You imagine the struggle in that moment is they can kill my whole family.
And nobody will question nothing.
Nothing. But at the same time, I want to whoop these motherfuckers' ass. But my family, though, so you got to be like, all right. And you got to accept that bullshit. So to save your family, though. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough, yeah. So, but if I was him to answer the question, I probably done the same thing he done for the sake of my family. Now, I ain't gonna lie now. During them times, if I'd have known then what I know now, and that would have happened. After that all would have happened, I might have had to privately seek their asses out. You know what I'm talking about?
On the back end.
Fucking right. Caught that. Yeah. Coming out in the backyard, won't get you a smoke. I'm gonna choke.
Or at the bar.
Yeah,
right by
kick
your
the shit out. Send him on where he want to go. The upper room. On the upper room. So
yeah, but it was different. So he makes nice with the officers,
right,
in order to get them out of the house. And once he closes the door, he just almost collapses. He's terrified. The screen splits, but in the split screen, he's terrified. Lucky is furious.
Yeah, she heated.
She hot.
Because that's the part where he was like, she hasn't done herself lately. She hasn't done herself.
Yeah, she's hot. Like that split screen when they do that, and they show that he's in the house.
But she should have let that shit go. That's just like that blueberry. That's just like that pie. She was out of pocket for that shit. She should have let it go though. Like given the situation, she should have let that shit go.
Well, she did because when he was burying Sarge, she was right out there with him, and she was
Right.
giving him a piece of her mind.
It's just part of that oppressive mind state, everything they have been through, all of that.
Yeah.
It's a product of that, you know, hating each other, angering each other, at odds for whatever. All that's part of it, you know.
And it ain't even got nothing to do with each other. It's the outside stuff.
It's the conditioning and the oppression that you've been privy to for generations. That's the generational curse. Like the land to me was the generational curse, but I digress.
So Grace, he tells her Gracie can't tell people about her imaginary friend.
Right.
And we're gonna put a pause in that.
Right. I love
so Gracie and Lucky, Henry is dropping Ruby off at school, and she asks if her mom is crazy. And she describes how she was outside, and then he again says how she has not been herself, and that when he came back from the war and returned, that he wasn't himself, and how she helped him get back. And so now whatever he needs to do to help her get back,
which you know
what the family needs to do.
Which let me backtrack, because that just made me think of something. Because I said she was bogus for being mad at him, but it's a part in there where she says to him, like, I don't know what point of the show it was, but she basically was like, yo, when you was going through what you was going through, I was right there with you. So I'm gonna retract what I just said and say, you know what? She wasn't wrong for being mad, because she expected, even in that heightened situation, and that's a bitter pill to swallow right now for me. So I might have to check myself later on this one, you know, by myself on the meditation. But she felt like regardless of the situation, he should have been there for her in every capacity. So that's something that he shouldn't have said. He should have figured something else out. That's a bitter pill right now, but I'm feeling what I'm feeling. That I think that's what it was. Why she was so upset. Just to backtrack.
Exactly. Yeah.
She was there. She was there for dude because he was fucked up.
He was he was out there. He was sleeping on the floor on the side of the bed and jumping every time somebody touched him.
Right. So
and now he all Mr. Clean Cut, his hair back right.
But can you imagine you go through that, your wife bring you back to sanity, and then right when y'all getting it together, the other situation happens. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Now you gotta deal with, I mean, all of that.
Like, it was a lot. When I say, that's why when I say that people are reviewing it in one little blurb, the whole series, it was so much packed into each part of this that there's no way that you could do it justice saying a 5-8 minute nothing.
Yeah, you just have some people now, and I get it because I'm one of those people sometimes, you know, when they spoke of the trauma porn, them is something you have to look at a couple of times and get a real understanding. And I agree with you. We talked about before about looking at the extras, the interviews and stuff. But I think people are just tired of seeing our people in dire straits. Like, for God's sake, they making a fucking series about Harriet Tubman a fucking again on cable somewhere. I just saw like a preview. Like, I just, like, it's crazy. So it's like, but they don't make movies about pioneers, innovators. You know, it's always, you know, the help, 12 years a slave, which I must remind everyone, 12 years a slave is 8 years of grammar school, 4 years of high school, but I digress. So, you know, I'm just saying, so, you know, all the type of movies and all that, yes, balls, we gonna go and March.
But this is the thing. If they made a movie like that, who's going to see it?
Well, we've been trying to watch Cracker for I don't know how long. They won't release it. You know what I'm talking about? They will not release it. You can't find that shit.
It's a whole nother reason. Now, I'm not saying about the reversal of anything. I'm saying if we made a movie that was about an actual Black pioneer, how many people are going to see it? Because you have a movie like Banker, it ain't too many people that's seen that. Okay. And these are about 2 Black people that pretended to be janitors, but they were the owners of the bank and had a white man to pretend to be the owner of the bank so that the bank could prosper.
Damn.
And they were millionaires. Don't nobody know about that movie, but it's been made. It was a great movie. Who's going to see it? Who's
it.
pushing it?
Well, we need
They
to push
pushed
that
12
though.
Years a Slave. They pushed all these movies of Yes Sir, Master, Master, and we go see it in droves.
Right.
So at the end of the day, they're making what's gonna make them money, because at the end of the day, they're in the business about the green. They don't give a fuck about our black skin, they're about their green. So at the end of the day, if you gonna take your black ass and go watch it and give me your green, I'm gonna put it out there for you. Trauma porn or not.
Well, marketing is king. So if they have a proper marketing campaign, I mean, I get what you're saying though, right? It would have to be a collective effort to make that shit happen, marketing wise.
Exactly.
You know,
This is like
the
even going off of the subject of even just movies, shows. It's a whole bunch. It's a whole genre of ratchet TV that's out there now. And the hell, I watch it.
yeah.
I watch it. I ain't gonna say I don't. I watch my ratchet TV. But then when you have a show where they try to show those same black people that are affluent, they got money. They ain't got no reason to be fighting or none of that. If they ain't got no drama on their show, their show is gone.
Telling lies to your vision programming. That's what it is.
I'm just saying.
But you're
So
right.
at the end of the day, we have to support the stuff that you saying that you want to see in a different way, because we ain't supporting it that way.
That's true, because it's a and I'm about to mess this up, God forgive me. It's called Quaily. It's an app. It's like Black TV.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm talking
I
about?
can't.
I think
Yeah,
it's
but I can't remember the name of it. I know what you're
I think
talking
it's
about.
like Quaily or something, but yeah. You're right.
But yeah, we have to support in a different way, or otherwise they're gonna keep feeding us the same shit.
You're right. 12 Years a Slave. The Django.
Now Django I like though, because at the end Django blew that motherfucker out.
Yeah, but it was,
And
it was.
and he said, "Who that nag on that horse? Who
Now
that nag on that horse?"
this might be me being too analytical, and I know somebody gonna probably chime in or something, be like, "Man, that motherfucker just being anal." But you know why I have a problem with Django?
Why?
Because when they finally show a movie where the brother is getting his just revenge and putting it to the oppressor, they make it like a comedy. They made it funny. They made this black masculinity, this justifiable revenge, this give them they just desserts. They made it they made that shit comedy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I might be being too deep, but that's just how I feel. When I saw it, that's all I kept thinking to myself. Like, why is it got to be funny? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe this is how I feel.
Listen, and to some extent, I feel you on that. The difference is that I still am glad that they made it.
Yeah.
Because it ain't too many out there where he done took the whole whip and whipped his ass.
I mean, look, I mean, what's my man name? What's my man that used to be Black Dynamite? Michael J. White.
Oh yeah.
He made good movies, whoop ass. Like he whoop ass through the whole movie. He come out on top every time. Love Michael J. White. You know.
And he made some movies that resemble blaxploitation movies.
Right.
Where, oh man, that one where he kicked that woman and she
But they'll show Steven Seagal, 475 pounds, ain't lifted nothing but a donut in 20 years. But they make a movie for him. He would 35 motherfuckers get 10 million for the movie.
Oh my God.
I mean, but anyway, I just want to see more positive. I would like to see more positive characters of our people that aren't fiction.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
and even in that, we have to support it. Like, we have to make it where, like, my thing, I forgot. Oh, it was, who was it? It was something that came out. Oh, with Jamie Foxx.
mm-hmm.
His new little comedy show, Dad Don't Embarrass Me.
I haven't watched it.
Okay, it's cute for what it is. It's it ain't supposed to be nothing serious. It's just he's a dad and the mom passed, and it's just his interaction with his daughter because she came to live with him, and they're whatever, right? So, but it has some comical stuff to it because it's Jamie Foxx. You know what I'm saying? That's his background is comedy. So it's the seriousness with the little comedy mix type thing. Ain't nothing serious. So when somebody was saying about if somebody liked it, like, you know how people get on and they like, hey, did anybody watch that? Did you like it or whatever? Then somebody tried to compare it to another show that's on Netflix, and I want to say it's called Family Reunion, and I have not watched that one. But anyway, it's another Black family, and it's a series that's on Netflix as well. So they was like, oh, it was all right, but I liked Family Reunion better. And I'm like, at the end of the day, we done had to fight so long to get our faces on anything that has to do with a big screen, little screen, medium screen, that's in not a negative light, not no drug dealer, no whatever. He owns his mom's company that she passed down to him, a cosmetic company. He took that over when his mom passed. So he's a CEO, he's a Black dad, and he's in his daughter's life. And you can't say, yeah, you know, and for me, I don't give a damn. I want us to win, period. So at the end of the day, don't compare his show to another Black show. Just say it was a good show. Just say I enjoyed it for what it was.
I feel
because
that.
at the end of the day, we are the ones who tear our stuff down. We are the ones who don't support us. So it makes it harder for them to give us anything. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how the hell King of Queens is still on the fucking air. Mike and Molly. Who the fuck is watching this shit? Like, I have nothing against Melissa McCarthy. That's my goddamn girl. But I'm trying to figure out who watching it. Why is it still on? Why is
That's why everything them folks watch.
Okay. I'm probably gonna have to edit this one, but oh well. I'll chop that out.
I'm like, what happened?
I don't know. It just like cycle. It might have been on my end probably because it kept saying something. I don't know. But I'll probably have to chop it and screw it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But anyway, you know what? There was them ops. We was talking about some real shit. They cut us off.
That's what it was. Was we live?
No.
Oh. They was like, say you hear those niggers? They're talking about the Matrix and how it's not real. Cut those niggers off.
Cut it. Cut it off. Get a rope.
Get a rope. What this dude named Linnell, what's his name? Lavelle something, he a comic.
Lavelle Crawford?
Yeah, he say, get a rope. They said, boy, he ain't got no neck. We can't hang on big old nigga, ain't got no neck. That shit was so before he lost weight. Oh my God, this shit was so funny.
Yeah, he is hilarious. I like him. He's funny. He's quite funny.
What time is it?
10:44. So we finna get on with this last little bit. So Gracie and Lucky enter the basement to fix the broken window. This is when we are introduced to the apparition, Miss Vera. She tells her mom that how she smells her first, and that she smells bad, and asks her if she smells her. And as she's going into this dark corner, Miss Vera screams, but it's a silent scream.
Miss Vera smelled like Medusa.
Oh my God. And the window flaps. She grabs Gracie. They run upstairs. She asks her mom if she sees her. And then she asks her if she felt it. So Lucky agreed, but she says that Miss Vera, she asked her when Miss Vera started messing with her, and she said not until we got here. And that she felt like it was something wrong with the house. And she did as well.
But she really didn't see Miss Vera.
Huh?
Lucky didn't really see Miss Vera.
She didn't, but that window flap scared the shit out of her.
She might have didn't see it. She might have smelt it.
But she says if she agrees that she did see
Right.
something, that they were not supposed to say anything about it, they're supposed to keep it between them. And she said,
Right.
okay. So Betty goes to visit Midge, and they discuss about the first Negroes moving into a neighborhood, and then the whole neighborhood is overtaken by the Negroes. And that's when she realizes, huh?
The property value is going to go down. These
Yes.
niggers coming up here.
And that's when she realizes that Midge and her family are moving.
Oh, yeah. She's pissed off.
And we start to see her cracks again.
Yeah.
When she starts cracking the egg.
Right.
So she's saying that so Midge says that that neighborhood is now no longer a place to raise kids anymore. And that if her and Clark, and then she stops because
girl.
Betty and Clark don't have kids.
Yeah, her womb is corroded.
And well, I'll address that a little bit later. There's a little extra to why her and Clark don't have kids as well. So
Nastiness.
this Midge tells her that she's pregnant.
That's right.
And so not only do you not have what you want, she also is doing it and she's moving.
Yeah, she
Just jousting some little extra cash on there for you.
Oh God.
So Henry is daydreaming at work and gets called into the office by his supervisor. And his supervisor says, I have a love in my heart for all creatures, but don't bend me over. And he speaks about how he went to bat for Henry to even be there, and says that he was gold bricking at his desk. So what we call riding the clock.
Yeah, milking the
So
clock.
Henry says, no, that's not what it is. Our family dog died. And this man's whole situation changed. He got emotional. He started beating on the desk and talking about his old Sparky that died back in the day. And it's really funny how him and his appreciation for a pet dying was so much more on the level of anything else of kind of connection that he had with this man that's sitting in front of him that's a human.
We care more about our pets than tigers.
Most definitely.
But you see how that's even today though. When the dog died, a PETA commercial comes, like, oh my God, Sparky. And then when Ray get killed, all those niggers are at it again, you know. So,
exactly. Just another one.
There's those Black Lives Matter niggers out there fucking up again.
But the dog,
Sparky's got run over.
But the dog, they're outside on the ground, but you walk past a person every day that's on the same ground and don't care. Don't touch me. Get a job.
Get Sparky off the ground. We've got to get a proper burial for Sparky.
Pick him up because he can't walk.
Little Timmy's going to need counseling because Sparky died. Fuck.
It was quite telling. So he gives him a break because the family dog died and tells him to take this folder to another department. And when Henry leaves out, he has to walk through his entire department and everybody is looking at him or gawking at him as he walks through.
That room that he works in is ghouly as hell. Like, yeah, but go ahead. That whole floor is like ghouly as shit. But go ahead.
Yes. So he proceeds expeditiously. I don't know what kind of walk that was, but it was a walk, baby. And got to the bathroom and snatched as many napkins out as he could and went in the stall and screamed.
Yeah, that was
into
deep.
Their napkin.
Yeah, that was deep. That was deep.
Yeah, I felt bad for him.
Yeah, you sit on the chair.
Yes. Yeah. But it's like he's in a role where he has to take what is thrust upon him without being able to give nothing back. Because that's his supervisor. He can't lose his job.
It just sounds so fucked up how you say it. Sorry.
What take was thrust upon him?
You gotta take what's thrust upon him without giving nothing back. Damn.
So, the teacher is reading a poem. Ruby's at school. She asks if anybody knows who the poem is by. Ruby raises her hand, answers Emily Dickinson, and the class erupts in ape noises. And Ruby's embarrassed. And this teacher calls her to the front like she's her savior, finna let her go out of class and hand her a detention slip for disrupting the class. I was like, when I saw it, I said, that's fucking serious?
Damn.
So, and she's sitting in the principal's office, and it's very telling how they did this. They did not show the girl sit next to her. They just showed that she was sitting next to her.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Doris that is there, and she tells her that she's pretty for a colored girl.
A colored, you're pretty for a colored girl.
Mm-hmm. Man. And offers her lipstick and tells her you'll come around when she says no. So that, of course, goes back to that pretty for a dark skinned girl.
Hey.
Whatever. Yeah, it's just I don't like it, but whatever. So Gracie and Lucky go to the hardware store to repair the window.
Right.
And the shopkeep is quite nice when they walk in. And as Lucky is shopping around, she finds a wall of axes. And they look glorious to her in that moment.
Damn glorious.
And Ready or Not is playing in the background.
Right, which I thought was cool.
Yes. And so the shopkeep appears next to her and says, you ever wonder what the brain meat looks like, Miss Emerson? Because if some bitch killed my dog, I might get curious.
You know, when I saw that part, you know what I thought about for some weird ass reason?
What?
The clip of The Color Purple when the dude, when his father was like, you gonna let that nappy haired gal treat you like a waiter at your own goddamn table? I don't know why. I be fucked up thinking about it. Anyway, that's what I thought about when I saw that. But I like that.
Oh my God.
I wish she would have I wish she would have done what I wanted her to do once she saw the maxes, but I digress.
What's this one?
The show would have ended too soon.
Oh Lord. Well, anyway, she bought one, we found out later, but
I know.
She got one. So Henry makes it to the other department. He starts hallucinating as he's walking down the hallway. Mm-hmm. The hallway changes to a sepia color.
Right.
And it starts emanating gas noises. And as he approaches a window, a man appears briefly. He looks like he's burned. He's being tortured in some type of a gas chamber. And then he snaps back into reality. So this goes back to the mustard gas experimentation that he was referring to. And that was part of World War II when that really happened as well, where they talked about Black troops being tested on it with mustard gas and other chemical weapons as well. And then just how Black men have been experimented on, and especially in the military, because you sign what you sign. Like, you in the military, we got your life. You got to sign it, you got to do it. And that's even like the Tuskegee syphilis study that they did. Like, it's just so many different things that we've been experimented on. They don't care. Like, we're animals. But yeah. So we're at home with Bex and Clark. She talks about how it's starting and that Dale is selling their house. So that's just the beginning. Clark tries to explain it away, saying, he got a new promotion. They about to have another kid. Don't worry about it. And she said, no, he knows what's coming. And the houses will be worth nothing And so she asked Clark to give a speech at the community meeting that they have to get them out. And he's a bit disinterested, but he agrees and tells her to go make peace with Midge. And so she lies and says she has an olive branch of some sugar that they need. And she goes across there and puts sugar in them people brand new car tank. Some more cracks. So we jump to at home with the Emerys for the evening. They're talking about Ruby's day. And she tells how she was the only one who knew who Emily Dickinson was. Henry says he was proud of her. Gracie tells how they fixed the basement window and that how she and Mama saw Miss Vera. To which Henry gave Lucky the "didn't we talk about this" stare and a whole lean back.
Didn't we talk about them Medusa ghosts and that they wasn't real?
That they ain't real. She can't be talking about it now. You talking about you seen it too.
Right.
So Lucky gives him a stare back as she gets up and in turn cuts her dear husband this hearty slice of homemade pie.
Straight bullshit.
And says, and when she gets to him with the pie, she leans down and says, "You were right about what you told the policeman. I haven't been myself, but I'm beginning to feel a lot better."
Straight bullshit.
And then kisses him on the cheek.
Bullshit.
So we get a flash of Henry back when he was in his PTSD mode, and it flashes back to present day Henry. And he forces himself to eat this pie. For like it was brutal. Like he acted that part out.
You know what I thought about when I seen that?
What?
Beloved.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. That's what I thought about.
Oh my God.
She was wrong as hell for that. She was wrong as hell.
So the screen splits into three. Is him, Lucky, and their backyard. And he's crying. She's crying because she feels fucked up by what she did.
Right.
And then it pans the backyard to the patch of ground where Sarge is buried.
And that blood.
And it starts bleeding. So this is some foreshadowing into the issue with the land. And that's how it ends.
Right.
So that's episode 2.
Beloved.
Oh, Lord, no. So because the FACKTgoddess is not here, we will not have I Love You But, because I ain't got no I Love You Buts, nothing tonight.
I love you. Touch me on my inside.
Okay. But we still need your suggestions. Send them to the FACKTgoddess at FACKTgoddess@gmail.com. That's FACKT goddess@gmail.com. It'll also be in the description below. And this concludes our show for the evening. Thank you all for joining us as we do our best to give you the content you deserve. Feel free to keep the conversation going below in the comments. We do look at them. We do look forward to reading them, and we do respond. Again, thanks for watching. If you have not, make sure to thumbs up the video, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and click the notification bell. So we will see you next week on GoddeSShips, because every ship matters.
All ships ain't the same.
And life is lived on ships.
Hey, people, one last thing. Given these days and times of what's been going on, I have one question for all of my people out here in the world. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
What? And the laugh goes right with it, which is ridiculous. Oh my God.
Let you go, dude. That nigga was funny as hell. Oh God. I'm sorry. I had to.
Good night.